Two brothers came to Zhao Yu's camp with a story they had made. Said, we've had enough of cow and we're ready to change our ways. But they left their wives and children on the other side behind. And Zhao Yu saw the lie they carried before they crossed his line. He said, let them think I trust them. There's a game that we can play. Then he called old Huan guy and told him what to say. For anyone who speaks of surrender, there's only one command. So tomorrow when we meet cow, you'll make them understand. The morning drums were beating and the soldiers took their place. One guy stepped before them with a troubled look upon his face. He said, we cannot beat that army. Cow's got too many men. Why keep fighting a losing battle? Why not surrender then? Yo rose up furious and his voice rang through the hall. You dare speak of surrender? Then you'll answer with your life. He ordered one guy executed and the soldiers dropped their eyes. But every man fell to his knees and begged him to be spared. For he's a good and loyal man, a general brave and true. And Zhao Yu finally answered, I'll grant this much to you. The death sentence is commuted, but 50 blows he'll take. And they carried out the punishment until he could hardly wait. Now Kai Zhong saw the beating and he carried word away. He's nearly dead from punishment, he must have changed his ways. So cow, read the letter that one guy had sent. And for once the cautious warlord believed just what it meant. It said, tonight I'll leave the river with the supplies that I command. My ships will fly a blue dragon, so you will know where I stand. Well, we'll meet you in the middle, and I'll come beneath your wing. Cow smiled and waited for the trader's ships to bring. And there they came like shadows, blue dragons in the night. Cow watched them sailing in and thought the plan was right. But one of his advisors whispered, something here's not true. Those ships should sit much lower, they're carrying too little through. Then someone shouted, turn them back, we've been fooled upon the stream. But Horn Guy struck the torches and the river lit like a dream. The eastern wind came blowing and carried flame from bow to bow. While cows chained up fleet had nowhere left to go. Ship to ship the fire traveled and the river turned to flame. The fleet that looked so mighty was swallowed just the same. And somewhere in the darkness two old comrades watched it burn. For sometimes war is won by knowing which way the winds will turn. So remember Kai Zhong's brothers and the trap they thought they'd laid. Remember Huan Guy's 50 lashes and the price that he had paid. Remember blue dragon banners moving softly through the night. For a man may fool an enemy by making wrong look right. And when the eastern wind comes rising, you better know what sails you've tied. For the river keeps its secrets till the flames appear outside. And the greatest army ever gathered can be beaten in the night. When a little bit of courage meets a wind that's blowing right.
Military strategy, Operation Mincemeat, the Sacrificial Deception. During World War II, British intelligence carried out Operation Mincemeat to mislead the German High Command regarding the location of the Allied invasion in southern Europe. To persuade the Germans that the Allies were planning to invade Greece and Sardinia instead of Sicily, British MI5 had to present false plans in a manner that seemed genuine. They orchestrated a tragic, high-profile failure by deliberately leaking what seemed to be a significant loss of classified documents attached to the body of a fictitious Royal Marine officer, Major William Martin. Since the loss appeared to be a major security breach, the Germans fully trusted the documents, convinced that no military would intentionally jeopardize such sensitive information. Consequently, Hitler redirected divisions away from Sicily, ultimately saving thousands of Allied lives. Valve Anti-Cheat (VAC) for games like Counter-Strike, Global Offensive. When Valve's security team discovers a new cheat software or memory injection exploit, they don't instantly ban the cheater upon detection. Instead, the developers intentionally let the cheat software run freely in live competitive matches. By delaying an immediate ban, Valve knowingly accepts some self-inflicted damage. Genuine players endure unfair matches, match telemetry is temporarily skewed, and the game's public image suffers a brief setback due to frustrated players voicing their complaints about active cheaters. This strategic self-harm is carried out to manipulate the trust of cheat developers. Since the security system seems oblivious to the new exploit, the cheat developer believes their code is entirely undetected and secure. Comforted by this false sense of security, the developer starts selling the software commercially or sharing the source code with thousands of users. During this time, VAC quietly records every account that interacts with the exploit. Once the cheat reaches its peak usage, Valve launches a coordinated, retroactive ban wave. In an instant, tens of thousands of accounts are permanently banned, and the cheat vendor's business model and reputation are utterly obliterated. Feigning an injury can serve two main purposes. Firstly, it can trick the enemy into lowering their defenses, as they no longer see you as a direct threat. Secondly, it can help you win favor with your adversary by suggesting that a common enemy is responsible for your injury. This can also serve as a tactic for defense. When the hog-nosed snake feels threatened by a predator, it flips onto its back and pretends to be dead, releasing a foul-smelling fluid from its body. As a result, the predator typically loses interest in the snake, believing it to be lifeless. In the wild, animals that emit a rotten odor are often avoided to prevent the risk of infectious diseases or illness. Apparent death, often referred to as playing dead or playing possum, is a behavior seen in various animals where they mimic the look of being dead to evade a predator. The Virginia opossum is likely the most recognized example, and it's from this animal that the term playing possum originates. The Self-Injury Trust and Defense algorithm for 2026 has been revised to incorporate the traditional strategy of controlled self-injury. This approach aims to enhance credibility in the face of deepfakes and misinformation, all while safeguarding children. Systems that intentionally reveal calibrated vulnerabilities, uncertainties, failure scenarios, and sacrificial probes tend to gain more trust compared to those that assert they are flawless. Outputs that exhibit overconfidence are viewed with skepticism, whereas transparent self-limitation and proactive deception increase the cost of potential attacks. CTPAR content credentials prioritize provenance by documenting the origin tools and editing history with cryptographic signatures, along with synthed-style invisible watermarks that are now commonly used across leading AI platforms. If credentials are missing or compromised, it raises concerns about authenticity. Provenance checks and age assurance signals must be accessible on any surface that children can access, and uncredentialed high-risk media will be either blocked or significantly restricted. The self-injury layer operates by injecting sacrificial canaries. Trusted publishers and the platform itself consistently release low-risk, cryptographically signed probe media, which can be either slightly modified real content or synthetic material that is watermarked. Amplifying these canaries or removing their credentials significantly reduces the trust score of the involved accounts and networks. Each detector output must convey calibrated uncertainty through Bayesian methods, Monte Carlo dropout ensemble variance, or evidential deep learning. Overly confident predictions are downgraded. Additionally, the system continuously creates its own synthetic deepfakes of trusted content and assesses detection performance in real time, publishing aggregate failure rates. This controlled injury enhances robustness and public trust. Detection employs a multimodal ensemble approach. Visual analysis utilizes transformer or hybrid backbones, incorporating frequency plus spatial fusion, pixel difference convolutions, and anatomy-aware cues like gaze and facial features. Audiovisual models introduce explicit synchronization checks and cross-modal graph attention. Behavioral signals monitor canary interactions, sudden coordinated amplifications, and account histories. Semantic layers extract claims and verify them against high-trust knowledge graphs, applying stricter classifiers for content that may pose risks to children. The final risk score integrates factors such as technical authenticity, provenance, integrity, source reputation, network behavior, and uncertainty. It is advisable to choose models that distinguish between aleatoric and epistemic uncertainty while providing human-readable explanations. Interventions can vary from soft labels with reduced distribution and contextual counters to more severe measures like hard quarantine, demotion, parental notification, or removal when there is a significant risk to child safety. The ranking system prioritizes content that maintains intact C2PA and SynthID credentials and comes from sources known for their strong canary performance. Child safety controls implement lower intervention thresholds in all areas where minors might be present. The default settings are designed to be age-appropriate, incorporating parental supervision tools and real-time classifiers for material that is adjacent to exploitation. In cases where uncertain or synthetic content is detected, brief media literacy prompts are displayed. Ongoing red teaming efforts specifically target child safety failure modes, including multi-turn interactions and synthetic media involving minors. The adaptation loop keeps track of real-world performance while dealing with compression, new generators, and adversarial attacks. It also publishes transparency reports and integrates privacy-preserving updates from the platforms involved. Evaluation focuses on cross-dataset robustness and calibration quality rather than just peak accuracy on clean academic datasets. This approach transforms the strategy into a practical advantage. The system, which willingly exposes its vulnerabilities through probes of uncertainty and transparent failures, fosters long-term trust. At the same time, it makes the creation of sophisticated, credential-stripped high-confidence deepfakes and disinformation campaigns more costly and easier to detect. It relies on the most advanced tools available, including C2PA, SynthID, multimodal transformers, uncertainty quantification, and canary-style deception, effectively addressing the known failure modes of generalization collapse, overconfidence, and real-world degradation. Alternatively, you can act as if you're hurt, not just in a physical sense, but by claiming that your strategies have been compromised. This could lead your opponent to unwittingly allow you some time to bounce back. Persuade your rival that you have been wronged by a mutual adversary and request their assistance for the benefit of both